still loose, they score! Centering pass. Oh, what a sensational save by Ethan Laughlin. Shoots, deflects, still loose, they score!
From Winnetka Ice Arena, we are live for the SHL Game of the Week on YouTube Live. Good evening, everybody, and welcome into tonight's broadcast. It's After Dark on a Wednesday night in Winnetka. Loyola, New Trier, number 1 and number 2 on the docket for us here tonight. Alongside Chris Dubliel and Wes Anderson, I am Matt Sanderson. We'll have all the live game action for you here from Winnetka. A heated rivalry on tap tonight, Chris. These teams have split the first 2 games of the regular season. The rubber match here tonight, and 2 crucial points for that top seed in the SHL.
Yeah, it's more than just bragging rights. You have 2 teams that are battling for that number 1 seed. It's crunch time in the regular season. We're past the holidays. We're past the midpoint of the season. They're jockeying for standings positions and getting ready for the playoffs, so everybody should be on their A game here tonight.
And for more on how Loyola is going to look to start this new year, we're going to send it down to ice level. Wes Anderson standing by with Loyola assistant coach Dustin Lockwood. Wes.
Thanks, guys. Coach Charlie Trapp saved 71 of 72 shots in the 2 games in this series. What's impressed you so much about his game so far?
I mean, it's hard to ask much more of it from a goalie, especially a freshman. He's got a knack for rising to the occasion, so I couldn't be happier for him.
Now let's switch over to the offensive end. You guys have scored 6 or more goals in the first 2 games of 2024. What are you looking to carry over into tonight?
I mean, we're just playing a little bit loose. We're not overthinking it, keeping things simple. They came back from break. They're playing with confidence again. So, you talk about having a great goalie. I mean, the best friend of a goalie is just a great offense. So, would love to see that continue tonight.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck tonight. Guys, back up to you.
Thank you, Wes. And I want to start where Dustin Lockwood started, and that's really been this freshman phenom that's taken the league by storm. Freshman Charlie Trapp, number 1 in the SHL in save percentage, number 2 in goals allowed. He's been unbelievably impressive for Loyola.
Yeah, it's next man up, and he has taken it and run with it. Just an excellent season. Every time you look at a box score for a Loyola game, there's Charlie Trapp just racking up saves, giving his team a chance to win every night. And they've won a lot of games, and he's a big reason for it.
And what a luxury, too. I mean, as good as he's been, you've got the, quote, backup in James Roach, who's number 2 in save percentage and number 1 in goals allowed average. An unbelievable 1-2 punch, no doubt, on Loyola side. Same on the New Trier side. You got Drew Dirtoff starting tonight. They also have Wyatt Schmidt, and they've been going game for game, back and forth. 2 very impressive goaltenders in net for New Trier as well.
Yeah, they've got quite the platoon going. It's plug a goalie and play, and you're looking at the 2 best teams in the SHL for a reason. You've got to score goals, but at the same time, you've got to have good goaltending. I mean, just look at what's happening in the NHL. Teams that have their struggles in net, they're looking to make moves, and the teams that have good goaltenders are going to be near the top of the league standings, and that goes for every league.
And with that buzzer, we are at the end of warm-ups here from Winnetka Ice Arena, and we'll send it down to our public address announcer, Sam Schwartz.
First to the visiting team, the Loyola Ramblers. At left defense, senior number 11. Correction, senior number 29, Whit Steele. His partner at right defense, senior number 11, Matt Klein. At left wing, senior number 21, Garvin St. John. At right wing, senior number 98, DJ Law. At center, senior number 88, Mikey Baker. And defending the Rambler goal, freshman number 1, Charlie Trapp. The Ramblers are coached by Scott Cirillo. He's assisted by DJ LeVar and Dustin Lockwood. The managers, he's at Finnegan. And now the starting lineup for your New Trier Tribute. At left defense, senior number 11, Zach Hill. At right defense, senior number 17, Charlie Field. At left wing, senior number 47, Ashton Freeland. At right wing, senior number 65, Aiden Nolan. At center, the captain, senior number 76, Brandon Hennigan. And defending the treading goal, senior number 1, Drew Darda. Your Nuclear Trebbings are coached by Adam Charis. He's assisted by Brian Enriquez and Matt Kenyon. The manager is Jody Savino. Today's officials, the referees are Anthony Fiorito and Michael Verdun. The linesmen are Amir Saxon and Eric Pajilla. Ladies and gentlemen, one more reminder that the USA Hockey zero tolerance policy is in effect. Throwing objects on the ice is not tolerated. If you do so, you will be ejected. We're looking at you, first row in the Loyola crowd. And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise if able and face the flag on the western end as we honor our country and those who serve with an organ rendition of our national anthem.
There's a lot of energy in this building, and I'm expecting another tight game. These two teams, when they get together, there's not a lack of drama. We've seen a low-scoring game already. Last meeting between these two teams went into a shootout game here to Heartland. Loyola try to return the favor here tonight. Compared to them to take this 2 out of 3.
Rubbing in the first game of the series, all the way back in November. It was all rolling in. Tight one here tonight. And again, and Baker square off at center ice, and we are underway. SHL After Dark on deck. Quickly taking the puck forward are the Trevians. Charlie Fisk. Part of the Loyola back end for the last couple of seasons now. Finnegan trying to get the puck up to Bain, but big David Wolf there to intercept it and send it back into the Loyola zone. Matt Klein at his own goal line will collect, lead the rush for the Ramblers. looking for Joe Bear. Missed him and went all the way down in on Dirtoff. Klein volleys it back below the goal line. Centering pass on the bouncing puck from Joe Bear, but right to the waiting arms of Michael Pedrea. Bouncing to the side of the cage of trap, eventually sent to the far wall. Randall's able to knock it down with his stick out of midair and send it back into Loyola zone. Now Liam Finnegan, he's trapped against the boards and coming to put pressure on is Savino. Savino has the puck taken off his stick. Messina rink wide to Finnegan, and at the end of the long shift, Finnegan puts it down deep.
Nice, good first tone-setting shift for New Trier. They're getting to work on the forecheck already.
Cooper Nelson along the near half wall. Comes down to make sure it stays in the zone. Now Messina at the end of a shift. Gets a shot off, but goes wide. Sight back at the far point. Had pressure, so he had to just toss up the boards. Now 3-on-2, maybe 4-on-2. Randall circles, shoots, and a crisp glove save from Trapp.
You like to see that early on from Charlie Trapp. Not a lot of wasted movement. Making the routine saves look very, very routine, and he's just looking calm in net. Meanwhile, New Trier, they're just keeping everything going north-south, trying to get pucks in deep and create chances off the cycle so far.
Draw one by the Ramblers. Here's Licknicki. Tries to pass it to himself off the boards, but alertly ready for it, Zach Hughes. Puck bouncing around the neutral zone, eventually carried in. Off the stick of Fisk in deep in the corner is Sipe. He dances around one, forechecking forward. And eventually it's Pereno, but his play up the boards goes into the bench, so it'll be an offensive zone draw for New Trier.
There's not a whole lot of glass down there by the player benches. The penalty boxes are pretty much wide open at this rink.
Just like Centennial, they're right next to the bench. One of those kind of odd configurations in that way, but this old classic barn, low ceilings, as low a ceiling as you're going to get at a hockey barn. So in terms of defensemen being aware of how they can clear the puck up and out isn't really an option here at Winnetka.
Yeah, that high flip has a greater risk of going out of play.
And now the puck bounces out in the corner. That's kind of the one blind spot here at Winnetka Ice from our center ice vantage point. It's an old style little broadcast perch that we have.
It's great. It's cozy.
Oh, it sure is. And there's plenty of bodies packed in here to keep it nice and warm as well. 2.5 gone here in the first period. Draw to come to the right at Trapp. Finnegan and Wolf. Battle comes back to the point. And Jason, who missed several weeks with an injury. Good to see him back on the back line for the Trevians. Here's Bain. Trying to go up the middle of the ice to find DJ Long. It's intercepted. Wolf with a big check to keep it alive for the Trevians. Now the veteran Will Steele, captain for this Loyola team, settles. Klein and Steele, just a dominant back two. They're going to match up against the top line for New Trier all night long. They shut them down in that 5-0 game back in November. They're going to look to do more of the same. Chung has the puck taken off his stick. Now Joe Bear, who's a little bit of an edge. He could have had a breakaway.
Yeah, he was just off balance. Had the defenseman off balance as well, but couldn't recover after he knocked the puck away.
Joe Bear throws it away once more to Chung. Now a shoulder up high, but no call will play on. Wrist shot from the point off the blocker. And just deflected wide by Trapp. Now Messina right at the point, trying to keep it alive for the Ramblers. Eventually dug out. And Savino able to collect. And now settled down by Chu. Cooper Nelson, a good stick lift of Chong to get the puck back for Sipe. Don't drop it deep. Send Messina and Joe Bear in on the forecheck. Savino surveys his option, turned over, puck loose in front, outside, backdoor, they score! Charlie Merrill gets the loose puck, buries it past Dirtoff, it's 1-0 Ramblers.
Loyola just really didn't have much going up until they caused a turnover in deep. Some aggressive forechecking leads to a chance in front, and Merrill buries it. And I believe that's the first shot on goal of the game for Loyola Gold.
Game sheet had one other. I'm not sure which they were referring to. I can't think of anything that had been on dirt off.
That's definitely their first good chance.
Maybe there was one flipped in from center ice, but I agree that's really the first shot on goal. And it was a fortunate bounce just to the side of the net. Johnny on the spot is Merrill, as icing was waved. Fisk trying to play it up the far board. Zach Dwyer keeps it in at the point. Now Zach Bubish trying to make sure it gets out and does. Sight volleys it off the board. That misses everybody, and that will be icing.
So they gave an assist to Jobert on that goal. He made the nice setup, but what really started that play was Tommy Messina with a good stick on the forecheck, knocked the puck right off of the blade of the defenseman for New Trier Green behind the net. Jobert was able to scoop that up and feed Merrill.
Draw to come back in the Rambler zone. One quickly and played right on goal by Hennigan. Just can't catch up to it. Trap falls on it.
And guys, you talk about how important that first goal is. These teams combined 28-2 when scoring first. I think it's very apparent by the pace here in the first 5 minutes of play just how critical that first goal is here tonight.
It really just unlocks both these teams' ability to put pressure on the forecheck when they get out ahead and really suffocate you. Neither of these teams are a get up and sit back and really pack the paint, as they say, or park the bus. They're really a get after you, especially when up, and give you no room to breathe.
Yeah, you're looking at teams number 1 and number 2 in goal differential. You get in front and you pile it on.
These two teams are 1 and 2 in just about every important stat you can imagine. Really have shown themselves to be the two top teams of the state. Now a chance for Finnegan at the far circle as his shot attempt stick checked away. Pedreo with speed, the save from Trapp, rebound given up but cleared by his defense.
You know, it's early, but this game really gives off a feel of capitalizing on mistakes being the difference in this game. Who's going to make fewer mistakes?
And that was certainly the key in that first win for Loyola. They just waited for New Trier to get a little antsy. They relied on guys like Steele and Klein on the back end to really lock things down and really sprung themselves for some advantageous chances. Point blank chance, Chris scores! Ashton Friel in the slot ties it up. It's 1-1.
And a great play off the wall for New Trier Green. It's another hard-working goal in this game. Both teams cashing in with just some great board play, winning the puck off the wall and making a great centering pass to the open man. And bang, bang, it's 1-1.
And a goal scored to tie it up just 5 minutes into the game. Aiden Nolan, the hard work. Now he dangles around one man, shoots again, just misses the cage. Aiden Nolan trying to score himself after getting the assist on the previous goal. Well, Joe Bear calmly flips it out to center ice, sent right back in. Neutral zone with some space. Comes Tyler LaRue. Rink wide, Charlie Merrill. Now Joe Bear up the middle. Turns, fires towards the front of the net, but Johnny on the spot is Johan Jason. Now a turnover for Merrill, and he misses the target. Once more Messina. Here's Cooper Nelson. He shoots, gets a deflection, but stops in its tracks. Savino trying to clear it. Messina towards net just wide. Cooper Nelson back at the point, swings it across. Sipe with the puck, shoots but deflects wide of the net. Now Hennigan collects along the near wall, flips it forward. Stretch pass finds Nolan, but quickly sandwiched off the puck by Nelson. Here's Nelson coming up from his defensive spot. He'll flick it in towards Dirtoff, who calmly squeezes the glove around it and takes a defensive zone draw.
A lot of energy into this game after both teams get on the board. It kind of loosens things up, opens up the play a little bit. Neither team has been immune to a turnover so far, and that's generated some more scoring chances.
Puck comes back to Klein at the near point. Drops below to Pereno. Luke Chu trying to dig it out of the corner. Pressure being put on by Luck Nicky. That's flipped all the way forward, comes to Trap, drops his glove on it. And another defensive zone draw coming for Loyola.
Guys, I know we're a few weeks out from the state playoffs, but this atmosphere feels just like the playoffs right now. Very loud, very tense, a lot of energy, a lot of back and forth. Excited to see what this game brings us.
Yeah, you know, December's often kind of referred to as the dog days of the high school hockey season. Turn that calendar to January. You've got your last 4 or 5 regular SHL games. Of course, SHL playoffs coming and the state tournament. So you really start to feel the light at the end of the tunnel, and the play reflects it. Here's Chong now, 1-on-2. He's got Herstrit coming up the slot. Chong shot, follow up Herstrit, just can't reach it. And Steele takes it away for the Ramblers. Perino backhands it all the way down. Comes to the stick of Truckenbrod. Truckenbrod battling. Merrill giving him all he can handle behind the goal. Finally, Chu settles for Green. Truckenbrod's just going to drop it deep. Losing an edge. There's a Rambler who's not currently, oh, excuse me, that was Julian Gabal. Would help if I'm looking at the right part of the call sheet, Chris. Wes Anderson down on ice level. Good to have Chris Dubiel. First time we've gotten a chance to do a game together this season.
Always fun to work with both of you guys, and couldn't pick a better game to do all together. This atmosphere, as Wes pointed out, it's playoff-like.
We got so many of the former players who maybe are off at college, still home for winter breaks. You see lots of them lining the boards for both Loyola and New Trier. Of course, as we always point out, just a quarter of a mile separate these two campuses, and these guys grew up together. Shot from the far circle and a quick save from Trapp, but rivalries don't get much more intense than these two. It's a big hit from St. John, looking more like the football player that he came off the gridiron for in December for the Ramblers.
Yeah, you could feel a little bit of the reverberation from the boards up here in the booth.
Garvin St. John, Mikey Baker, part of that state championship team for the Loyola Rambler football team, and just add another dynamic to the Ramblers, who were already either the number 1 or number 2 team in the state before they had them.
It never ceases to impress me with both of these programs. You just have athlete after athlete, multiple sports, whether it's volleyball, golf, football. These guys excel at other things besides hockey, and it just shows you how skilled everybody is.
Now stretch pass Finnegan. Bain waiting on the back door. A little trouble handling it dirt off, but his defenseman Savino there to help it clear. Put in towards the net, eventually fired into the New Trier bench. It'll be an offensive zone draw coming for Loyola. Just halfway through the first period in a absolutely packed Winnetka Ice Arena. 1-1 our score halfway through it. Sight back skating, turns it over. Pedrea puts it deep. Sight still battling. Tough shift for the defenseman 19, Chris Sight. The captain showing you why. Now cross ice, almost turned over. Goes all the way to the back end to Fisk, who drops it in deep. Trevians get a change.
And the way that both of these teams are forechecking, you have to be on your toes as a defenseman, recognizing what's in front of you and making the right decisions, quick decisions with the puck.
Hennigan trying to weave between Steele and Klein. Puck goes to the corner. Now collision along the near half wall. And Trier Wannapelli not going to get one. Nolan breaks free, deflects above the goal of Trapp. Klein now with some space, volleys it off the glass, trying to get it up to Bain, but Jason there for the Trevians. Here's Steele. Up to Messina. He drops it deep. And we'll give Merrill a chance below the goal line. Merrill able to win the puck. Gets it to Messina. Centering pass for Joe Bear. Looked like he was trying to hit it out of midair. He whiffed on it. Hennigan now 3-on-2. Come the Trevians, maybe 4-on-2. Hennigan shot. Deflected. Friel just a step slow back door. He would have had a wide open cage.
New Trier just really keeping it simple. Get the puck at the net, try to find a rebound, but
Joe Bear and Messina collide a little bit as they enter the offensive zone. Now Messina below the goal. Has a man back at the point. Swung across LaRue. LaRue going to chip it towards Dirtoff. Now Merrill side of the net. LaRue once more looking for a deflection from Messina. Now backdoor Baker. He can't get a shot off. As waiting for him was Shane Randall.
Yeah, that thing really kicked around as they were trying to make that play. Went off of a leg.
Baker up the slot, skates. He's taken down to the ice, looking around for our first penalty, and that's exactly what we'll get. And we will get a chance to see the third-ranked power play at 24.5% for Loyola.
Looks like tripping is going to be the call as Baker was upended. And this is a big spot in this game. It's a 1-1 hockey game. We're still early on here in the first period, but special teams, especially in tight games, usually is the difference.
Yuhan Jason, the guilty party for the tripping. Power play commences for the Ramblers. Here's Joe Blair behind the goal. Has Steele at the top of the near circle. Going to swing it across Sipe. Sipe now to Bain, the point leader in the SHL. Sipe shoots, looking for a deflection, can't get one. Sipe trying to keep it alive, but forcing it out is David Wolf. Sipe once more, takes a hit to make sure the puck gets in deep. Big windup from Fisk, and he's able to spin it out. I mentioned Charlie Bain, tied for first in the SHL in points with Zach Freemuth. Of course, Freemuth, with his 40, has done it in 5 less games. Of course, GBS playing right now as well, but between Freemuth and Bain, talented scorers at the top of the league.
Just impressive to see these guys just fill the stat sheet game after game.
Sipe outside the near circle. He's going to spin it around, get it to Baker. Baker in the corner. Flips it across, gets it through to Sipe. Now Bain far point. Right back to Sipe near point. Cross ice, Baker weaving through. Gets a little bit of a flick of the wrist on goal. But that's not going to get past Dirdoff. Offensive zone draw coming for Loyola.
I like what Mikey Baker did there. There was a crowd of defenders in the slot, and he was able to kind of weave his way through 2 defenders and make himself available for the pass and make a play out of that. It's hard to make plays in the middle of the ice because it is so clogged up, and that's valuable place on the ice, but Baker with a nose for the net there.
50 seconds left here in the power play for Loyola. St. John, you could see the physicality of St. John even when Miller tried to check him. All it took was a forearm shiver from Garvin St. John to shake him off. Matt Klein, he's going to rip a shot, gets a deflection from St. John and deflects up into the netting. I think that should be outside the offensive zone. I believe it was deflected by St. John. The linesman and the referee can have a conversation, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Correct call.
It's a pretty nice tip by St. John, but unfortunately it goes out of play for Loyola. But that's textbook. He went right to the net, turned around, presented a stick, and pretty good play there, but with the deflection, you sometimes never know where it's going to go.
It is a tricky art and one that guys spend their entire career just to maybe get right about 5% of the time.
5% is huge. You think about all the overtime winners you see, especially in playoff games.
Here's Merrill's shot. He scores! The wrist shot from the far circle for Charlie Merrill gets his second goal of the game. It's 2-1 Loyola.
13th power play goal of the season for Loyola Gold, and it's the second of the game for Merrill. And this time it is just a bullet wrister by Dirdoff. And the visitors are in front.
Guys, we talked to assistant coach Dustin Lockwood before the game. Through 2 games, Loyola scored over 6 goals, and they're right on pace to do it again here. See if a response is going to be had here by nutrition.
Baker gets the assist on the second goal for Loyola.
Time of the goal, 12 minutes, 42 seconds in the first period. Loyola power play goal scored by Merrill, second of the game, assisted by Baker.
Now we'll see what New Trier's response can be with 4 minutes left to go here in the first period. Responded in just about a minute and a half after the first goal. As this chipped out into the neutral zone with speed comes Pereno 1-on-2, and he fires into the belly of Dirdoff.
It's a nice move there by Pereno to corral that. The pass is a little bit behind him. He's able to thread it through the legs and get into the zone, get that quick shot off.
Draw to come to the right at Dirtoff. Hennigan and Jobert. It's Jobert winning it quickly. Quickly, LaRue back at the point. He's going to go one-timer. Merrill looking for the first period hat trick. He just misses the cage on that shot from the far circle. Friel, rink wide. Trying to go around one defenseman. Comes cleanly to Messina. Messina skating wide in his offhand. He'll turn about. Drop it below for Jobert. Jobert trying to get it back to LaRue, but he's pickpocketed by Hennigan. He wants either a hooking or a slashing call. He's not going to get one. Randall with speed. Carries from his defensive spot. Goes across ice and finds Nolan. Nolan again around one man, but Klein there to support his line mate. He goes quickly off the boards. Bain. Now Bain quickly trying to make it a 2-on-1. Wolf hustling, but puck rolls off Merrill's stick into the corner, and four bodies come together. Still wrestling for it. Comes free to Finnegan. Back to the point and steal, and now we get a whistle. It's going to be a penalty. There was something behind the play. I was following the action. Chris, not sure if you saw it.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to get Merrill. He might have taken a little extra shot away from the puck on one of the Trevian players.
So talk about a heck of a first period for Charlie Merrill. 2 goals and a penalty. Not quite the Gordie Howe hat trick, but for 15 minutes he's well on his way.
And I think that's going to be a roughing penalty. So as far as a high school hockey player goes, it's pretty close to being a Gordie Howe hat trick, because obviously don't see many fights because it's not allowed.
Huge opportunity for the Trevians to tie it up. Jason's shot goes wide of the net. Randall keeps it alive. Bain trying to get something shorthanded. Still bouncing around the slot. And it's Trapp that finally puts it away for New Trier. Not a bad 23.2%. That's good for fifth. We kind of say anything over 20% in high school hockey, you're doing pretty well. But really the staggering number is the penalty kill for Loyola at 91% on the season. That's impressive, but what's even more impressive, second, 85%. They are 6% clear at, 23 games into the season. That's a really impressive penalty kill.
Just remarkable. 50 kills out of 55 for this Ramblers squad.
Steal in the corner. Good quick pass from Hennigan along the far wall. Hennigan drops it below to the big body of Wolf. Now Hennigan comes off the far half wall, shoots, just misses the cage. That had so much pace on it. It's going to lead Bain for a look here, shorthanded. Going to try to draw. He's going to waste a little bit of time, then gets pickpocketed by Randall.
Yeah, not much to work with there. Bain was going in 1 against 3.
Again, cleared by the Ramblers. See the way they take away time and space. And just 3 men standing there on the blue line. They're going to have Chris Sight force a direction for this Trevian skater, and then they're going to collapse. You'll see it right here. So they're going to skate wide. Messina comes up, takes the puck right away. He might have a shorthanded breakaway opportunity. Here comes Messina. He's taken down as he goes towards the net. No call. We'll play on.
Might have been leaning ahead a little bit and just pushed off balance just a bit.
You can see why this Loyola penalty kill just suffocating. They force you to a direction.
Yeah, New Trier really had to scramble to recover there and prevent that chance.
Here's Friel. He drops it deep. Cooper Nelson trying to dig it out, or at worst, waste some time, and able to calmly clear it as LaRue. One more quick chance if they try here for the Trevians. Fisk going to carry it forward. Now to Nolan. Nolan around one man. He draws to his forehand, gets it right back, backhanded shot, and a save by Trapp. Power play over, centering. Savino trying to put it home, still bouncing around in the slot. Eventually cleared out. Great opportunity right as the power play expired for the Trevians.
Charlie Trapp just making himself big in the crease, made a couple of big saves just on positioning alone, getting the shoulders square to the shooter, and no second chance opportunity was getting by him.
Baker, a 3-on-1. He shoots off the post. He had Dirtoff beat, just would not bar home. And that will do it for the first period. Wow. What an ending after a scramble to our left, a post to our right. It is 2-1. I want to take a quick moment. We'd like to let our audience know about a great program coming up. Glenview native Frank Zaraski, play-by-play voice of the North American 3 Hockey League's West Bend Power, is hosting an Autism Acceptance Night on January 20th at 7:30 p.m. Puck drop. Memorabilia from Sean Avery, Danny Briere, Cale McCarr, Adam Burrish, and more will be auctioned off during the game for the Autism Society of Southeastern Wisconsin. For more information, visit at West Bend Power on Instagram and X. Thank you for that, Frank. Frank, our clock operator tonight as well. But 2-1 game after one period. The story so far, Loyola cashes in their power play. New Trier doesn't. It's 2-1.
Yeah, Loyola very opportunistic, especially on that forecheck, causing a turnover to set up the first goal by Merrill. And then when things open up a little bit more on the power play, Loyola goes to work, spreads the ice out, and they find Merrill in the middle of the ice, and nice wrister gives Loyola Gold the lead. And even on the scoring chances that they have not gotten past Dirtov, they've been very opportunistic on counterattacking. Loyola has been tonight. So that's something to keep an eye on, and I'm sure something that New Trier Green on their bench is talking about, making some adjustments, limiting the turnovers, limiting the mistakes, because Loyola is the type of team that can make you pay for those.
I'm always hesitant to make too many comments about goaltending on this broadcast when we have the expert Wes Anderson. It's something I feel like I'm noticing here early on Merrill's second goal, and then again on Bain's post. They're attacking Drew Dirtov's glove right now, and there was another shot early as well that looked like it just whizzed by Dirtov's glove. Might be something Loyola is trying to attack right now. I'll take that as a yes. Thank you, Wes. Our goaltending expert, Wes Anderson. Look, Nicky now along the far half wall. Comes back to Klein. Across the steal with space. Top of the circle. Shoots. Get to deflection. Pereno. But it hit his body and just stopped. And cleared back out to center ice.
Yeah, all kinds of traffic in front of Dirtov on that shot.
Now Baker in on the forecheck. Comes to the stick of Hubish. And once more out. Will it have to be played by Trapp? It will.
That thing just kind of knuckled its way down.
I want to thank our great sponsors here on the SHL Network. A great group of sponsors we have that help support the network, the SHL at large. Folks, without them, myself, Chris, Wes, we're not doing this broadcast. So in addition to all these great hockey programs that put forth some money, some of these great organizations and companies, you can find a way to frequent them, including the Barn Hockey Bar, is the official bar and restaurant of the SHL. Make sure you do that. They are great partners of the league. Off the draw, right in on Trapp. Chris, sorry to cut you up, but we got to pay the bills.
Yeah, great shout out to the Barn. I was able to check that place out a few weeks ago.
Oh, it's an impressive spot.
Great spot.
It's we had the high school hockey kickoff show live from the Barn, which is something I'd always wanted to do with this league, and we just kind of never really had the resources or the venue to do it, but we were able to do it at the Barn, and it was a great turnout. And stay tuned. We have maybe one or two more events like it coming possibly this season. So stay tuned to the SHL Network on Instagram and, of course, ScholasticHockeyLeague.org. Underway here in the second period. Nelson, stretch pass, finds a Bain for a breakaway. Here's Charlie Bain. Forehand, can't get a shot off. Randall at the last moment slowed him down.
Great play there by Shane Randall to get the stick
Siped,
underneath.
Turns, fires, gets caught under the skate of Randall. That can be dangerous when you get that puck underneath the skate blade. Finnegan gets it back to the point. Nelson, he gets pressure, so he's got to fire it right back in. Sipe thought about a pinch. Instead, he'll play back in the neutral zone. Nelson and Wolf. Wolf all of 6'7", 6'8". Here's Randall. Now, great block shot by Finnegan, not to let it through. That's one of the things of this New Trier team. It is as big a high school hockey team as, frankly, I've seen since covering the state in hockey. Here's Savino. His shot up over the crossbar. St. John up the right wing. Just missing the stick of Gabal, but we've seen some big teams, but I believe there's 4 or 5 guys 6'5" or taller on this team. You just don't see that at the high school level.
It's bigger than a lot of college teams.
Savino centering pass. Somehow Trapp reaches out and gloves it.
It'll be interesting to see if New Trier continues to try and impose their will physically, kind of try to take Loyola off their game a bit. We haven't seen a ton of hits until we kind of moved later into the first period and now into the second. Obviously, no love lost between these two schools.
There's a heck of a rivalry. Yeah, it's been for years. Just so often the top teams in this league, if not the top two and the top 3 or 4. There's no such thing as rebuilding for these programs, just reloading.
Hockey factories.
No doubt about it. For the Trevians, this is their first game back in their only SHL game this weekend. They'll head up to Phoenix for the Cactus Cup. Here's Merrill. Good move into the slot. Still weaving. Messina on the backhand tries to draw to his forehand. He would have been better off trying to flick that into the top corner. The second he pulled it to his forehand, he ran out of room.
Charlie Merrill really feeling it today. 2 goals already, was going for the third there, just weaving in and out. That almost looked like a stick handling drill, the way he was handling the puck.
14:21 left here in the second period, and it was the hard-charging Merrill that forced the goal off its post, so we'll come out into the neutral zone. Now Seifert and Pereno getting and talking to from the linesman. Baker quickly off the draw, carries into the offensive zone. Trying a centering pass, but goes right to the stick of Hubish. Now Trevians with speed coming up the left wing. Hubish turns about, trying to find some help, fires it towards Trapp. Deflects into the corner. Now John Olson. Klein with a check. Comes free to Nicky, flips it forward, looking for Pereno, but Johnny on the spot is Fisk. He turns it over, trying to go up the boards. Nicky wasn't able to corral. 2-on-2 come the Trevians.
That's offside.
And just a touch offside as Mr. Chris Dubio called in real time. 13:42 left to go here in the second period.
Just a little bit of hesitation at the line on that zone entry. The linesman was right on top of it.
Taking a quick look around the league. We already have a final. It's Lake Forest with an upset over St. Viator, a 5-4 upset earlier this evening. And currently it is St. Ignatius, a 3-1 lead over Glenbrook South up in Glenview. That game midway through the third period.
Quite the road game there for the Wolfpack.
I know they're expecting a good crowd out there at Glenview Ice Arena as well. I always get a chance to check in with the SHL's Dylan Ward, who's calling that for the GBS Digital Network. I think that's what they call it. Glad you're able to tune in here tonight. Understand if you chose to take this one in from home, we're staying up late so you can stay at home. Last year this game was nearly over by midnight. Started about 15 minutes late, and I think it ended just around 11:30. We weren't out of here till past midnight. Jew's shot through traffic of the stick of Markowitz, gloved by Trapp.
Trapp again with the shots from distance. He's done a nice job of commanding the crease and handling those shots, just looking them all into the glove. Really, New Trier has to get in tight, get some bodies in front of the net, cause a little bit of chaos to get him uncomfortable in that net.
And that's something you would think with all of the size of this Trevian team. That's the one thing I think in the games that I've done of the Trevians, I like to see him do a little bit more of. You've got this much size and strength. Get to the front of the net and get the dirty goals. You're so used to so much skill and speed with New Trier, but it's really their size this year that can make them go a long way. Now Trevians with numbers. They might have a 4-on-2 if they hurry. Here comes Huber. His shot misses the far post. Randall able to keep it alive for a moment. Just missing Bain. That'll go the length of the ice for an icing.
Yeah, that just jumped past Charlie Bain. Otherwise, that could have been dangerous. potential odd man rush or a one-on-one situation with Bain cutting into the offensive zone, but just skipped by him. And a defensive zone draw here for Loyola. Top line is out there for New Trier Green.
It's been interesting to watch the line matchups. Of course, New Trier gets the last change. Both these teams so deep and run 3, sometimes 4 lines. So those matchups become that much more important. Merrill able to eschew that out of the zone. Nelson and Sipe a little bit of trouble. Now Nolan putting pressure on. Good check from Nolan. And Sipe is down. I think he's in some pain. He really got hit hard. Now he's up to his feet. Seems to be all right. Was awkward. Now in the slot. Backhanded shot. Trapp. Follow one chance. And a second save from Trapp. Here comes Merrill 2-on-2 with Messina. Merrill skates by one defenseman. That's Savino. Now bodies come together below the goal. Hennigan able to take it away for the Trevians. Rink wide Nolan. Markowitz and Nolan come together. It's LaRue that comes away with it. LaRue, Merrill, bouncing around the neutral zone. Nolan trying to play it forward. Comes to Messina. And back out to neutral ice to Hubish. Fired well wide of the cage by Savino, but following it up Miller. Of course, Miller the hero the last time these two teams got together. In the shootout in the 4th round, was able to win it for the Trevians, get him the 2 points. Now the corner, trying to come off the corner is Seifert. Now in front, trying to find it back door. Almost, probably would have had the game-tying goal if it got to the stick of Olsen.
Yeah, on this shift, New Trier's had Loyola on the run a little bit. Just bringing the puck in wide, getting it deep, just forcing the defense for Loyola to chase a little bit, and they got a scoring chance out of it.
It feels like there's been a lot of whistles in this game. Just looking at the clock, it's only 10:27 left in the second period. If there's ever a game that you don't necessarily want to drag, it's the 9:15 puck drop. But here we have it.
Yeah, just ask the refs about that one.
Bounces along the near half wall, right in front of the packed Loyola student section. Baker trying a centering pass, couldn't get it to Pereno. Now Seifert pestered the entire way by Pereno, still fights through it, gets all the way below the goal. It's an across Olsen. Now Miller, steal there. So escort him wide. Olsen taking a check from Baker. Just sealing off this Trevian team, not letting him anywhere near the front of the net. Trying to get the puck to the front of the net, but Steele as well as Perino there to slow it. And once again, cleared.
You know, they didn't get a shot out of this last sequence, but got to respect the willingness and the determination from New Trier. They're going straight into the traffic and protecting the puck well. Definitely not shying away from the physicality in this game.
It's one of the things you always got to calculate against this New Trier team. We talked about their size, the team this big. You got to pick your spots. Ultimately, you don't want to bang too many bodies in if you're Loyola, but you got to pick your spots and certainly keep them at bay.
Yeah, you will get tired in a hurry chasing hits.
Dwyer with a hit in the corner. They're letting him play for sure. Chu drops it along the far wall, but taken away by Dwyer. He absorbs a check to get it forward to Gabal. Gabal gets hit deep, St. John. Now Dwyer. St. John using that big body to shield a defender, but taken away by Herstrit. Cooper Nelson and Chris Sipe. That second D pairing. Pretty impressive when you can put Chris Sipe. I mean, I guess Depends how you look at it, whether you want to put Klein and Steele as the top or Nelson and Sipe. That'd probably be most teams' one pairing for both.
That is a fantastic luxury to have for a team. You can rely on 4 defensemen at any point of the game. You got a top 4 like that, you're easily absorbing 2/3 of the game's minutes.
Puck rings around the boards. Bain, good quick touch pass to Finnegan, able to start the rush for the Ramblers. Now DJ Long on the forecheck. He ties up the stick in the corner, allows Bain to come in and win the puck. Finnegan near circle. Ubich trying his best to get it out, but Bain's pressure keeps the puck in. Now Jason able to finally flick it out of the zone. Klein D to Steele. Steele gonna put it right behind the goal of Dirtoff. Jason around the boards, but kept in at the point by Steele. Klein races. He can't keep it at the far point. He has a blowout. Leading an opportunity here for the Trevians. Huber coming up the slot. The pass towards him. Missed the mark.
Steele had that pretty well covered.
Just see the way these defensemen work together. They are attached like a string. Never see anybody really out of position. Even the odd man opportunities, how quickly both these teams can recover. Here's Finnegan. Up to Bain. Can't control it through the neutral zone. Comes to the stick of Jason. Stretch pass, just missing the stick of Hennigan. That'll be an icing.
Guys, we're over halfway through this second period, and the Ramblers only garnered 1 shot on goal. Something to keep in mind. Those first intermission adjustments by the Trevians paying dividends here in the second period.
Yeah, New Trier definitely has the ice tilted a bit here in this second period. They've had the better of the chances. Not a lot of high-quality chances in this period, but New Trier's had a good amount of the possession here in this game, in this second period.
Markowitz keeps it alive for a moment, but quickly cleared by the Trevians. Nolan can't handle it at center ice, and Hennigan has to come help. Real turns and fires, but Markowitz calmly gloves it. Just missing Joe Bear and Merrill. That misses everybody. Then we get, no, the puck falls short of icing, so we'll play on. Stuck in the corner, Markowitz. Here's Joe Bear. Joe Bear rings it around the boards, finds Merrill along the near half wall. Trying to dig it out is Hennigan. Messina still trying. Merrill, his shot saved by Dirtoff from a sharp angle. Played up the board. Jobert keeps it in. Jobert from a tough angle. Fought off and kicked aside by Dirtoff. Finally, Randall with some space. He'll be able to flick it up the middle of the ice and find Friel, but Jobert quickly takes it away.
End of the shift there for Loyola. They really couldn't capitalize on that turnover at neutral ice.
Misses everybody. Comes back to Cooper Nelson. Both teams volleying the the puck back and forth. I'll try to keep my sport puns together. Ubich does a nice job keeping the puck in. Shoots, gets a rebound. Miller not able to capitalize on the second chance, and a huge hit. And down to the ice goes Lechnicki.
Caught him up high. The arm goes up.
And it's Hennigan that's lobbying. I think he's worried he might get a 2 and a 10. Excuse me, Savino lobbying. I think he's worried about a 2 and a 10, but the sensitivity of hits to the head and high hits, would not be surprised if we saw more than just the 2 here for Savino.
I would not be surprised either. Lechnicki's just in a tough spot there. The puck's coming his way. He doesn't see the defender coming. And gets caught up high with a high hit. Arm went up right away, so this is at least a minor penalty, and we'll know soon if it's going to be anything more than that.
Just the way Savino immediately went to the referee, kind of, I don't think it was an intentionally high hit by any means, but with the way that's officiated these days, scary, scary sight as Lechnicki down on the ice. I've seen him moved around, and they're certainly being sensitive with that head and neck area.
Yeah, that's the main thing. The most important thing is that he's all right.
So while they attend to Lechnicki, we're going to step aside here and cut our mics here and give them just the time they need down on the ice to figure out what's going on. We'll certainly jump back in with any updates as we move along. Welcome back. Great to see Peter Lechnicki to his feet and back to the bench. But a huge, huge decision and frankly loss for New Trier as Jack Savino got a 5-minute major and a game misconduct. He is done for the evening. He will also miss New Trier's next game as well. That is a huge loss. The veteran captain for New Trier. Can't underscore enough what that means in this rivalry game. Of course, a 5-minute major means even a goal for Loyola keeps them on the power play for 5 whole minutes.
Yeah, this is a major development in this game. You hate to see a player get injured on a big hit like that. Did not seem like it was intentionally malicious. But open ice hits can be dangerous. There's a big impact, and unfortunately, the hit caught Lechnicki up high. He comes off the ice. He's still up against the glass watching the game, but obviously, you're going to play it safe, pull him out of the game. He was down with the trainer for a couple of minutes. There's a subdued atmosphere here at the rink.
Yeah, it was about as long of a pause for an injury as I've seen it at this level. That was certainly scary there for a moment, but great to see Lechnicki. He's standing, talking to his teammates. He's got his helmet off. I'm not sure if we're going to see him the rest of the night. Here's Bain, top of the circle, just getting started on the 5-minute major for the Ramblers. And if you're New Trier, here's a centering pass. Finnegan, backdoor was Joe Bear, just not in his shooting wheel. Here's Finnegan, back to the point site. Oh, it looks like he just dragged it outside the zone. That's going to be offsides if played by Loyola, and it is. And that's going to be a huge mistake there on the power play by Sipe. But if you're New Trier, obviously your dream world is you can kill off 5 minutes of a power play, but want to do no worse than 1. That's kind of the mentality at this point in the game. You can keep it 3-1 by the end of this major, still feel like you're in the game. More than that starts to be a really tall hill to climb.
Definitely. And the way that the timing of this all works out, New Trier manages to kill this off and get out of this unscathed. You go into the intermission down 1, you're fine with that. A 1-goal hockey game, and then if you're Loyola, at all costs, you want at least a 2-goal lead heading into the break.
Yeah, given the circumstances, if they were able to kill it, almost feel like a tie game if you're the Trevian. So big work here for the Ramblers. Joe Bear from a sharp angle goes wide. Steele, far point, across to Sipe. Sipe again, a little bit of trouble at the blue line, gets it to Bain, tries to get it across to Joe Bear, but wasn't ready for it. Steele once more, back up top, Sipe. Again, Steele, top of the far circle. A lot of passing on the perimeter. Finally, Bain near circle. Shots blocked. Now breakaway opportunity. Can Randall catch up? He can't. Gets it up to Bain. Now 2-on-1, maybe 3-on-1 of the Ramblers. Baker, Bain's shot goes into the breadbasket of Dirtoff. They've been better off laying that one off.
Yeah, guys, we see that 2-on-1 develop there off of a change from the Trevians. The long change here in the second period is even amplified that they're down on this 5-minute penalty kill, and we're going to have to lean on Drew Dirtoff heavily over the next 3 minutes and 42 seconds.
Yeah, there's a bit of a fire drill there for New Trier trying to complete that change. They couldn't quite get that puck deep, and maybe one extra pass there would have led to a better chance for Loyola, but Dirtoff coming up with a big save. We got 3:43 left on this power play for Loyola.
So we don't have a 5-minute major on our score bug, unfortunately, but you can basically know that this major will go till about 15 seconds left in the second period, so you can track it that way. Here's Klein resetting for the Ramblers. They scored on their first power play of the game all the way back early in the first period. St. John in the corner. Oh, and he splits the difference between Messina and Klein. That goes all the way back to Trapp.
New Trier's doing a nice job staying in their structure here on the penalty kill, keeping that box and not really allowing Loyola to spread things out and execute what they want to do.
Once more coming over and clearing back to Trapp.
And now you're about halfway through this major penalty.
An uneasy calm has come over the crowd, feeling the importance of this moment here at the end of the second period. Bain skates wide, trying a centering pass for Finnegan. It's deflected. And couldn't tell if that got forced out. It didn't. Bain's able to keep it alive. Bain's shot blocked by Ubich, who doesn't have a stick. He's just trying to use his arms, his legs, his knees, anything to try to get the puck out. Sipe shot off the right pad of Dirtoff.
It's like a 5-on-3.5.
Still not able to get the puck out as the linesman's got the stick in his hand, and it's this period of the long change, so it becomes that much harder. And now we get a whistle. Oh, a huge
the net
break.
came off.
What a huge break.
That's a
for
big
the
break for
Trevians.
New Trier, yeah.
That might be a little accidentally on purpose by Drew Dirtoff in that.
I'm not going to name any names, but there was a broadcaster that immediately looked down at Wes Anderson. Now, that might have been a cheeky play that he deployed back in the day once or twice.
I am definitely guilty of doing that more than once or twice, guys.
.203 remains on that major penalty, and so far the Trevians are doing a nice job of just making this penalty kill choppy. That's the last thing you want if you're on the power play for this long. You want fluid motion if you're Loyola, and that's not what they've had on this power play. Here's Sipe. Joe Bear even with the goal.
Yeah, their best chance was that rush chance for Bain, and really hasn't been much else.
Sipe again, trouble at the blue line, and the long limbs of Wolf knocks it back into the neutral zone.
Yeah, Sipe's trying to get rid of Wolf, trying to draw him in, but Wolf uses that reach so well.
All of 6'7", 6'8" is David Wolf. Nice hit behind the goal by Fisk. Down the corner, Miller. Fisk wraps it around the boards. Bain's able to keep it in. Now to Sipe. Sipe shot once more, blocked, and Miller almost with a breakaway.
Trouble here
Randall.
for Loyola.
2-on-1, Randall draws to the forehand, he scores! Shane Randall ties it up shorthanded. It's 2-2.
Just an incredible individual effort here by Randall. Defender draped on him. He's able to hang on to the puck. Goes backhand, draws it to the forehand, and just chips it past Trapp.
And Chris, I don't want to take away from the effort, but you just felt 3 or 4 times there, Sipe being too cute with the puck at the blue line, and it's probably the 4th time that it ends up costing him. It's just not something you see from Chris Sipe. He's usually so good with the puck on the back end, and it was the 3rd or 4th time that really bit him and leads to the shorthanded goal for the Trevians.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to make a play at the point, and the puck just kind of stuck, and he lost it in his skates, and then all of a sudden, with the rest of your attackers in deep and the killers up high for New Trier Green, that creates the odd man chance, and that is a massive shorthanded goal to tie this game. And suddenly, this power play is almost over. They've only got about 35 seconds left.
I mean, we started it with a win for New Trier as Nolan comes forward. Backhand as Hubish coming up the slot. Oh, what a save! Charlie Trapp goes post to post, and it's almost a second shorthanded goal for the Trevians.
Did he get that with the dome? Man, what a stop.
On this 5-minute major power play for Loyola, almost already is kind of a disaster, almost a major disaster. Can they recover? Messina's shot. Puck was loose side of the net. St. John couldn't get a follow-up. 4 seconds remaining on the power play. I mean, we led off with saying, hey, if New Trier could just not let anything up going into the end of the second period, that'd be a win. They're up 1-0 on this 5-minute major.
If you're on New Trier's bench, you take a clean kill and that's it. But to get a shorthanded goal, that is gravy. Very delicious gravy.
No doubt about it. 21.7 to go, 4 seconds to go on the kill. If you're Loyola, really tough pill to swallow here to go this entire 5-minute major and end up in a worse position than you started. Sipe trying to change that narrative. Puck still loose side of the net. Randall there to save for New Trier. Back to full strength. Right at the end of the period, Dwyer can't get a shot off. Backhanded. Deflects wide. Now high off the boards. Can Steele get one more shot forward? He can't. That will do it for the second period. After 2, a 2-2 score, but all the momentum has swung back Green's way.
Just a huge, huge, huge kill here for New Trier Green. They get out of the period not only killing off a 5-minute major, but cashing in shorthanded. And then a late flurry by Loyola. They finally get a couple of good chances, one of those being the deflection. Dirdoff comes up with the save, and that does it. We're through 2 periods, all knotted up at 2. This has been a wild one.
And it's shaping up for a huge third period coming up here in just about 11 minutes. We'll step aside, catch our breath, come back with third period action here in just a couple of minutes right here on your home for SHL Hockey, the SHL Network on YouTube Live.
It's like I just pictured a guy pitching.
Welcome back live here to the SHL Game of the Week, live from Winnetka Ice Arena. A 2-2 game after 2 periods. Lots to discuss, but we're going to send it right down to the bench with Wes Anderson, who's got Adam Charis.
Thanks, guys. Coach, you lose Jack Savino there in the second period. What was your message in between intermission to get your team refocused?
Yeah, hey, that's a tough loss. You know, he's a captain of our team, kind of a spiritual guy, like, you know, gets the guys going, very physical player. You know, I'm glad the kid's okay. I saw him walking around, so that's always good. That's what we care about most, so that's good. But the message was overcoming. The 5-minute power play, kill that is huge, and actually get one and tie it up. Feeling good about that. Hopefully that momentum can carry into the third.
That's going to lead into my next question. How do you look to use that momentum into the third and win this game?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're ready. They're fired up. I mean, that was a challenging moment, which we always look for that, you know, testing ourselves. I don't want to give it Loyola, especially a 5-minute power play, but, you know, it worked out well. We're looking to carry over. They're fired up. It's going to be a great third period.
Thanks, Coach. Good
All
luck.
right, you got it, Wes.
Guys, back up to you.
Thank you, Wes. Worked out well is the understatement of the evening. I mean, you know, you get the shorthanded goal, that's nothing new, but to go a 5-minute major shorthanded and come out of that 1-0 is virtually unheard of.
Yeah, that is just massive, massive, massive for New Trier. From their perspective, they want to use that momentum, and I think from the Loyola perspective, I think you just want to treat it like this is the first period. Forget anything happened. It's 2-2. Don't worry that you could have had an opportunity to extend the lead and you didn't. It's a tie game. Get the next goal.
And one thing we really haven't dove into, but it's critical here as we go into the third period for everyone to keep in mind, in the standings right now, Loyola's up a point, but New Trier's got 2 games in hand. A regulation win for Loyola creates a virtual tie. A regulation win for New Trier is going to put them well ahead for that number 1 seed in the SHL and regular season championship. So a ton on the line here to start the third period right off the draw. A wrist shot from Randall goes just wide. And again, trying to bring it into the slot. Now Nolan pinches from his defensive spot. Can't keep it in. Randall in a foot race with Messina. And Randall settles through the neutral zone. Scanning right now. I'm trying to see if we see Peter Lechnicki on the bench or in street clothes. I don't think I see him on the bench. Wes, I know, doing a scan for us as well. Charlie Fisk with the puck. Now fighting forward is Hennigan. Gets checked by Nelson. Sipe. We're going to carry it out from his defensive zone. Now tied up through the middle of the ice is Charlie Merrill. Feels like he's been in the middle of everything. 2-on-1 New Trier. Nolan in the slot. Pass just behind him.
Finnegan with a nice stretch to deny that pass, at least disrupt it.
Centering pass. Nolan just a half a step short of a chance on the doorstep. Here's Finnegan 1-on-3 with the rest of his mates changing. Stick still hanging out right at center ice. That's going to be too many men on the ice, I think. Looked like clear as day with 6 guys on the ice and the puck hitting the heel of a parting Trevian, but no call.
Yeah, New Trier might have gotten away with one there.
2-on-2 come the Trevians. Skating wide. Miller shot with some speed. Excuse me, that was Huber with the wrist shot. And a save from Trapp. Now Long and Bain. Long going to fire it in on Dirtoff. Kicks it wide. Baker chips it forward, but immediately sent the other way by the Trevians onto the stick of LaRue. Markowitz with the puck. Here's Lechnicki. There is Peter Lechnicki. Good to see him back. Backdoor chance for Pereno. Can't get a good shot off.
That long wrister got deflected there. Loyola was just looking to get something through traffic, and good block there by New Trier.
Baker on the back check. Trying to pry it free. Comes to Randall. Randall skates wide. Escorted there by Steele, who gives him a check at the end of it. Pops free to Herstrit. He volleys it forward. Gets a deflection from Randall, but well wide of the net. Steele sends it up ice. That's going to be an icing an offsides, and since it was directly on the netminder, it's going to come all the way back into the New Trier zone.
Loyola's probably happy to have an offensive zone draw coming, as New Trier's, just like they did at the start of the game in the first period, just playing simple north-south hockey, get the puck in, get a shot on net.
Speaking of South hockey, here's a shot from sight. Walkered away. It's the St. Ignatius Wolfpack with a big 4-1 win on the road up in Glenview. A couple of critical points for the current 7th-ranked team in the SHL. Big win for the Wolfpack.
That is a very strong GBS squad. It's a huge win, especially on the road.
Lots to come here in the new year. Randall's wrist shot. Locked down in front. Julian Gabal takes a check, knocked down to the ice by Charlie Truckenbrod. Now Herstrid's shot just misses the cage, and Trapp falls on it. Offensive zone draw coming for the Trevians.
Guys, we talked to Adam Cheris before this third period, about the momentum that the Trevians are carrying into this third period. So far through 4.5 minutes, it's been all Trevians. No response yet for the Ramblers. Excited to see what goes on here in the third.
The big Mo on the side of the Trevians right now. It was all Loyola really early in that first period. Big wind up on the shot from Hubish. Now shot is trapped. Somehow saw that through traffic with his left pad and keeps it out.
That was an impressive save. Quick reflex, just kicked the pad out, kept everything sealed at the ice level, and his teammates are able to do the rest.
Continues to be an awfully impressive young man in net for the Ramblers. And just a freshman. I feel like I say that a lot, but I don't think you can say it enough with how impressive he's been.
I mean, at this level, the difference between a freshman and an upperclassman is big.
And you see it. We've seen our handful of freshman varsity starters. Stevenson had 3 or 4 of them on that team that graduated last year. You know, Zach Freemuth was a freshman on varsity. Seeing some skaters, pretty rare you see it. In fact, I can't think of any example in my time of a goaltender as a freshman, especially at this level of hockey. So if it seems like we belabor the point, that would be the reason why. We just don't really see it. Here's Klein in the corner, absorbs a check. Seifert tried to lay a hit. Now Joe Bear quickly with Merrill coming up the slot looking for maybe a deflected hat trick, but goes on net for Durdov, and he keeps it out. Now Fisk has the puck deflect into the bench area. And we'll get an offensive zone draw coming for Loyola. Draw to come to the right of Durdov, won cleanly, but Markowitz can't handle it back at the point. Has to retreat back into the neutral zone. LaRue's dump attempt gets blocked on its way in by Pedrea. Now Randall. Back to Pedrea along the near wall. Long sends a check his way. LaRue and Markowitz back to play it. Randall traps it between his feet like a defenseman in soccer, keeps it in for the moment, but Bain takes it the other way. Bain pestered the entire way by Hans Huber. Now a battle in the corner. Finnegan whiffs on a hit, and that's going to spring Randall for a 3-on-2. Able to keep on side. Randall's shot gets deflected on its way to net and wide. Markowitz up to Long. That one fired back in. A 2-2 score. 2 critical points on the line like we described at the start of this period. As that puck goes the length for icing, but talk about a win for Loyola, and that will set up a heck of a race down the stretch here in the SHL. Win for New Trier, and they'd be really mathematically 4 or 5 points clear of second place Loyola.
Guys, is it just me, or did this game kind of revert back to the way we saw in the first few minutes of the first period. It
No
seems
doubt.
very tight.
It's gotten much tighter than it was in the second period. Totally agree with you, Chris. It's kind of that feeling of the next goal might be the one. Is speaking of which, Perino trying to catch up, but winning the foot race is Huber. Now Huber wins the puck. He'll lead 2-on-2 for the Trevians. Skates wide right, chips it around Sipe. Sipe with a good angle. Cooper Nelson coming over to help now. Puck centers, and nobody there for the Trevians. And cleared once more.
I don't think anybody on the ice was expecting that puck to just be swept right through the slot like that.
No, that entire really section of the ice has been vacated for a board battle, so no harm for the Ramblers. Huber tries to clear up the middle of the ice. Mikey Baker blocked it, almost led to a chance for the Ramblers. Sent back in where Truckenbrod is. Truckenbrod getting a little more time here in the third period. Of course, Jack Savino got the major penalty in the second period, so they're a man down on the back end are the Trevians.
Yeah, it's always tough when you lose a player, but especially when you lose a defenseman, because obviously you've got fewer players eating up more minutes. So when you lose a defenseman, especially one of your top defensemen, that means just everybody else has to pick up the slack. Everybody else is getting more ice time, and that starts to add up as you get later into the game.
Now a shot right on net, just goes over the crossbar. Battle along the far wall. Joe Bear and Steele a part of it. Now pops back to Klein below the goal. Klein evaluating options, but knocked down as Chong takes over. Herschritt wants it. Centering pass. Not able to get a shot off. Follow on chance from Fisk and goes into Trapp's pads. Now a skirmish after the play.
Yeah, New Trier, a couple extra hacks and whacks to try to get at that loose puck. It looked like it was going to be free for about a split second as Trapp was getting the blocker and glove on top of it, but Charlie Trapp able to hang on, not let that puck come loose. And then obviously the crowd all gathers in front of the crease afterwards. But nothing more than a couple of shoves and maybe some trash talk.
Apologize, as you probably just saw, we're having a little bit of trouble with our clock here on the stream, so I will revert back to giving you as many updates as I can. 9:10 left to go here in the third period. Shane Randall back at the point. Played on by Huber. Checked off the puck now, Wolf, but his shot towards net can't get all the way through. Now Wolf looking for an angle. Now gets trapped in the skates of Randall, and DJ Long almost free for a breakaway, but Long a step into the zone before he got that puck offside with 8:40 to go.
Yeah, Randall, as that puck was coming to him at the point, he was trying to walk the line, and it was almost like he wanted to drag that puck to the middle of the ice before it even got to him, and that kind of caused the puck to get lost in his skates, and then Loyola trying to make something happen the other way, but they were offside.
Face off one, LaRue. Here's Baker. One of the best kickers in the country is Mikey Baker. Likely to play somewhere relatively prestigious for that position. Haven't quite heard where yet. Could be behind on that news, but quite the impressive kicker. No, he kicked some 40+ for the Ramblers football team. Now a penalty in our blind spot here to our left. It's going to be a hooking call against the Ramblers.
Yeah, they're going to get Pereno. He was a little bit overzealous trying to lift the stick and take the puck away. And that stick got up around the waist and around the arms, and pretty easy call for the official to make on Jake Pereno. It's a big kill here for Loyola. I believe this is only the second power play of the game for New Trier Green.
My numbers reflect the same, Chris.
And that came much earlier in the game. So a little bit more weight on this special teams situation. Loyola's 51 of 56 after they had that kill earlier.
Played out wide, but Steele quickly gets it back to center ice. Back to the point for Hubish. Her strip below the goal. Friel gets pressure, and he turns it over just past the stick of Messina. He had eyes on possibly a shorthanded opportunity himself.
Would not be surprised if that's what's on the minds of the Ramblers. Like, let's get that shorty back with one of our own.
Exactly what I was just thinking. Love to turn the tables on that one if they could. Once more cleared in this Loyola penalty kill. Already 1 for 1 on the day, now over 91% on the season. That's going to be an icing and a cardinal sin of the power play for the New Trier Trevians. Icing on the power play. So that and offsides you just absolutely cannot do when you have the man advantage. So an offensive zone draw on the kill here for the Ramblers.
It's that fast, aggressive, yet disciplined penalty kill that doesn't really allow New Trier to get organized. And when you're not organized, turnovers, icings, that's what's going to happen.
40 to go here on the power play for the Trevians. Here's Jason. Weaves between a couple of Ramblers, just loses the handle at the last moment, and Bain's able to swipe it down ice.
Last 30 on the kill here for New Trier, or on the power play, I should say, for New Trier.
6.5 to go in the game. Hennigan skates out wide. Finnegan checks him off the puck and cleared. Comes to Bain between Jason and Randall. Finally, Jason going to try one more rush here with the extra man. Randall up the middle of the ice, skates wide now, far circle. He's going to drop it to Hennigan. Bain with the pressure right away. That's the end of the power play for the Trevians. Loyola back to full strength as DJ Long, lurking at the blue line, was hoping maybe he would get a stretch pass, but puck was played by a high stick of the Trevians. And really a break just after the kill for the Ramblers, being an offensive zone draw.
Yeah, DJ Long, you mentioned he was hanging back, hoping he was going to get a stretch pass. The defense was offense-minded, and you could hear the New Trier Green bench just going crazy. Hey, watch that guy. And then, fortunately for them, the puck went out of play. But offensive zone draw here for the Ramblers.
Comes to the right of Dirdoff, and Herstrit, a face-off violation, so he's replaced by Luke Chu. One cleanly. Markowitz turns it over. Now a breakaway opportunity. Randall racing. LaRue trying to cut off the angle. Great stick check by LaRue. It's going to be a 2-on-1 for the Ramblers. Hustling back now Herstrit to even the numbers. Long whiffs on the shot. Baker collects in the corner. What an exchange we had there over the last 25 seconds.
Yeah, just bouncing pucks, turnovers.
A lot of speed and skill chewing up this ice for sure. Not getting the clean bounces on the breakaways. Here's Markowitz. Skates wide up the left wing. He's going to shoot out of the glove of Dirdoff. Gabal fouls up, but can't get much on the shot. Now Markowitz turns, fires towards Dirdoff. Still bouncing around to the side of Dirdoff. He drops that glove on top.
Max, you alluded to it earlier. The Ramblers favoring that glove side of Dirdoff. We saw it again just now on that last opportunity. I'm down on the Trevian bench. Have a great sight line. It looks like Dirdoff might be slightly favoring that blocker side. So great pickup on you guys up there in the booth.
Those highly skilled shooters are going to look for stuff like that. The goalie's leaning. You're looking for any edge you can get.
Big hit in the defensive zone. Now turned over. Jobert has the puck in the slot, but can't get a shot off. And a huge opportunity. 3-on-2 come the Trevians. Jobert hustling back to even the numbers. That shot whistles over the crossbar. Now Messina missing Jobert. But Jobert able to fight through a check to get the puck deep. Hennigan drags around Messina. Trying to get it up. Steele stops him there. Now with speed comes Huber. His shot deflects by Klein. Centering pass. Nolan gets a shot off, but deflects over the bar.
It's good coverage there by Steele in front.
Jobert, quick touch pass off the boards, but Merrill can't handle it. God, we've seen that 3 or 4 times here over the last couple of minutes along those benches, the snow buildup, really making it hard for those guys trying to make some pace up the far wall. This one is going to miss everybody, not going to get far enough for icing.
Yeah, that puck just sticks in front of the benches.
Bain with the puck, centering pass, the shot from Finnegan blocked in front, follow-up chance off the post! The inside of the post, inches away from taking the lead, were the Ramblers.
Man, Finnegan with a couple of grade A opportunities. I did not catch which New Trier player made the sliding block, but that was just huge. That was Friel, as Max points out. Ashton Friel comes up with a big block. And then on the follow-up try, it rings off the post on that glove side, I might add.
And not just the post, that was the inside of the post. I mean,
man,
an inch or two more on the inside, and that volleys into the back of the net. That close to taking the lead for the Ramblers.
This game not short on drama.
No, sir. Puck bounces around behind the goal of Durdov. Now Jason exits quickly with space. Come New Trier and Pedrea. Centering. Stick to side by Trapp. Markowitz able to get it out. No, they say it kept in. Looked like it bounced the line, but Trier gets a chance. No harm done here for the Ramblers. Now LaRue comes up with speed up the right wing, but turns it over. Markowitz going for a change. On comes Klein. DJ Long with the back skate to slow up the darting. Huber puts a stick in on Trapp, and that's not going to be pleasant from Bain and LaRue.
A little bit of a late poke there. Probably towing the line about as much as you can without getting penalty called against you. And then obviously the linesmen have to get in there rather quickly to keep everybody calm, or at least as calm as can be.
3:12 to go here in number 1, number 2, SHL After Dark on a Wednesday night. Stop me if you've heard that before in this matchup.
Yeah, if we were talking about the first goal of the period being key, we're kind of now into next goal wins territory.
Absolutely.
With just about 3 minutes to go.
Comes up the boards to Hubish and goes far enough for an icing.
It's been an energetic crowd, but it's a noticeably more tense crowd in this building.
It's one of the great things I love about broadcasting are moments like this where you can feel the tension. Obviously, we don't really care which way this game goes. We're neutral observers, and to feel the tension throughout the building is one of the great things about broadcasting.
Yeah. If you're a parent of one of these players, your blood pressure's probably a little bit higher right now.
Dwyer chasing, trying to get it to Baker, just a step behind it, couldn't get a shot off. Now Baker fights through a check, gets crunched by Randall. And Randall able to get the puck up to Hubish. Now Hirsch shot, backdoor chance. Oh, what a stick check from Klein. Or else it might have been a goal lead off the stick of Chong. Now foul on Jason, his shot deflects well wide. Boy, Matt Klein probably saving the day right now for Loyola. Now a chance for Randall in the slot. Shot goes high, still bouncing in front of Trapp. And the goal bounces off, and puck ends up actually in the back of the net, but the whistle called, and this is no time to lose your temper if you're Hirschschritt or Mikey Baker with 2:13 left here in the third period.
New Trier is not missing an opportunity to take a whack at the goaltender whenever they get a shot on net. And Loyola recognizes that. That's why you're seeing pushing and shoving after each whistle whenever Charlie Trapp is freezing the puck. And whether it leads to a penalty against Loyola or a penalty against New Trier, both of these teams just need to keep the emotions in check.
That shot whizzes by the post. Heading for the last 2 minutes of the game. Here's Hubis, drops below the goal, finds Fisk. Jobert, now a chance in the slot, they score! Brendan Hennigan finds the back of the net with 1:54 to go. It's 3-2 New Trier.
Loyola looked like they had that puck cleared, but Hennigan somehow fights for that puck to steal it back, and then it's just him and the goaltender, and he put it past Trapp, and New Trier has grabbed this game.
The captain, Brendan Hennigan, gets his 10th SHL goal this season, and what feels like it might be the biggest thus far, one that might put this New Trier side in prime position for an SHL regular season championship. 5 or 6 games to go for the Trevians, but that score holds. They'd be 4 points clear in first place with a point clear in first place with 2 games in hand. And then, of course, they are able to hold on, they'll have the tiebreaker should it end in a tie between this Loyola New Trier side and the standings at the end of the year. Minute 38 for Loyola to change that script. Finnegan wraps the boards but can't get it out. We'll keep an eye on the net of Trapp here over the last 90 seconds. Steele to Klein. Now Long with some space up the left wing. Trapp making his way towards the bench. There he goes. 6 attackers on the ice for the Ramblers. 70 seconds to go. Steele keeps it in. Fires it forward but can't get it past Randall. Now Randall. Klein trying to slow him down. Does. Saves the day for the Ramblers.
How many times have we said that about Klein?
Just a huge piece on the back end that continues to get done. Now from distance, they score!
Empty netter.
Shane Randall from 125 feet away puts the icing on the cake for the Trevians. A 4-2 lead for New Trier.
That's got to be a sweet feeling for Randall. He had the huge shorthanded goal to tie this game up and really turn the tide of the hockey game. And now he gets his second of the night, essentially icing the game. Crazier things have happened, but
Chris, it's a 54-minute game and lots of things happen, but you can't say enough about what that 5-minute penalty kill did for this game. It was 2-1 Loyola. You figure if they could get 1, maybe even 2, all but put this game away. They came out of that tied. And since then, just the entire momentum of the game felt like it switched New Trier's way. Here's Nelson, 40 seconds to go. Can they find one with 6 attackers on the ice? Merrill centering, backdoor, just missing the stick of Messina. Follow-on chance from Baker, blocked out in front as there's 4 or 5 Trevian bodies. Now pop free once more. Olsen trying to get one more empty netter. Takes a check, he misses the mark. Can they wrap one forward? Just missing the goal line here in the final 15. Now Merrill. 2 goals on the game, the only 2 goals for Loyola. Steers it to the corner. But that will just about do it here. A massive win here in the SHL for the #1 team in the state. New Trier wins it 4-2 and take firm control of the SHL standings.
That's the end of the game. It's a Trevian winner.
23 SHL games, 20 victories for New Trier Green. What can you say? That just a workmanlike performance.
Here's
from
what
this
I can
squad.
say, Chris. I have a feeling we're going to see this matchup at least once more. I'll call it maybe in an SHL final, as these 2 teams are tracking to be the top 2, so they wouldn't meet till a final. And, of course, the SHL final is now a 1-game final. It used to be best of 3. They've moved to a 1-game final. And then certainly we could see this matchup in the state playoffs, but that does it for the regular season. New Trier takes 2-1.
Yeah, a playoff preview. If you're New Trier, this is one of those wins that you can look back on when times get tough and remember that you've got a big kill in you, you've got a shorthanded goal in you, you can score a clutch goal late. And if you're Loyola, this is one that you file it away and figure out what you could have done better and make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, certainly they'll go to school on that power play at the end of the second. That's one that's going to be in the back of their minds for a while, but we got Wes Anderson down on ice level, who's on with New Trier captain and game-winning goal scorer Brendan Hennigan. Wes, take it away.
Thanks, guys. You guys were down. You guys had a 5-minute penalty kill there in the second period. You're able to kill that off, coming into the third period. Take us through your goal there. That sealed the deal.
Yeah, so 5-minute penalty kill, that really gave us all the momentum, got us all going. And then for the goal, Frio worked it down low to me. I just tried to get it to the net. Just popped right in.
I can tell you got out of breath. It's your first game of 2024. How are you guys going to look to build off of this going forward?
Yeah, we just want to keep it rolling and just keep going. Like, we finished off at the break strong. Just want to keep that going the rest of the year.
Sounds good. Go enjoy your teammates.
Sorry?
Go enjoy your teammates.
Thanks. We play hockey. Jack Smino.
Guys, back up to you.
I love it. I love it. Brendan Hennigan sticking up for his guy who obviously got the game misconduct in the 5-minute major, but they fought through it and they got it done. Chris, last thoughts?
Yeah, just a moment of adversity that New Trier Green was able to overcome and just turn into a huge, I don't know if they needed to be galvanized, but they are a galvanized bunch following that win. That was huge.
Well, that will do it for us here from Winnetka Ice Arena. Thank you so much for staying up late with us here on the SHL Network. Of course, this game doesn't get done without our great crew. We have Theo Lucchese, who stepped in for Jimmy the Wiz Olsen, who is out of town currently. So big thank you to Theo for operating all the technicals here today. Of course, Matt Freeman on the camera duty for us, bringing you all the main angles from tonight's game. Wes Anderson down on ice level with all the rinkside thoughts and interviews. Chris Dubiel to my left. I am Max Anderson. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. And we will talk to you next week for the SHL Game of the Week right here on the SHL Network.